What is up, YouTube boxing family? It is K-Rod here. I'm back at it with another good video for you guys today. Alright, let's get right into it. Hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. We have a pretty good fire matchup for you guys. I wanted to talk about the whole deal with Czarina Mccoy versus Monica Henao. This is a very, very good scaling matchup. It may not look good on paper, but I think this is like one of these fights where Czarina, she will have a pretty good fight, with her. This is like the little promo photo that I managed to get. They're going to be fighting in Colima, Mexico, for the NBA World Championship title through their organization. So yeah, this is a pretty good fight. I think Czarina's doing a good job at just staying active, because if nobody doesn't want to fight her at the big stage, I think it's best to just keep yourself active, so she could keep working on her skills and just keep getting up there. It's not to say like, okay, well, she's not fighting good opposition, blah blah blah. But the difference is that Czarina, she's staying active over all the other women that are not going out there to get back inside the ring, to be more sharper in the ring. And I think that the biggest takeaway from it is just that not a lot of women want to take those chances, because they think that not staying active as much means that they're just waiting on the big phone call to get those big fights, either i.e. title fights or just fights in general that gets their name bigger. And I think that's a really shady and very stupid thing to do in boxing, because the women have been putting in a lot of work in boxing. They've been doing a very lovely job, but it's not to say women's boxing is heavily growing. Like, I don't think so. I think it's still at a stalemate. It's decent, but it's not like the super duper best. And I think honestly, the whole problem is just that you just need to see it from the open lens. And to me, I think, like, to me, from like a man's perspective, when I look at a woman like Czarina, I like the fact that she's staying active, because like any other sport, boxing is one of the very fewest sports in the world, next to wrestling, and I probably say MMA and other combat sports, where it's very hard to stay active. Because if people don't want to fight you, but you're going out here doing what you have to do to stay active, it's like you can't do anything but just wait. And to me, I understand that makes a whole lot of sense, where you could say, like, in the sport of boxing, there's a certain type of level where that the sport itself can be put in a certain, how should I say, threshold, where people have to basically take certain massive risk that could potentially hurt their career a lot more in the long run. But I think it's just simply just due to people not understanding the business and being smart with their decisions. But I think either way, boxing needs like a major, people always use the state as their solution to fix boxing, but that's not how I see it. I personally see boxing not getting any better when you get the state involved. People think it's a good idea because that the state should get involved on a global level to universalize certain principles in the sport financially, but that's not only going to be more corruptive, but on top of that, you're going to point the gun at other people that don't want to put their money into the pockets of evil people within the state. And then on top of that, promoters and sanction bodies will very well get behind that, and they'll use their stupid mindset to believe in what they want to use politically, and fighters are not going to be treated any better. So, I mean, to me, I just don't see it to be like a good, plausible solution. I think there needs there needs to just be better marketization to allow more competition to step in, or not even like allow it, but just to have more competition basically step in, and people can actually create more marketized solutions to make sure everybody gets paid. Because I understand, as of now in boxing, you're only getting a guarantee up front, but it's like, why can't let the fighters get massive sponsorships? Why can't they get certain deals where they're going to be covered with their medical services before and after their fights? Like, that would make a lot better sense, where fighters would be treated, with actual pure free market type services that actually come in to actually support athletes. Like, I'll just use the NBA as a great example. Like, their athletes always get tested before and after games. Athletes always get drug tested randomly at any given point in time, where the NBA actually does their job. And on top of that, athletes, they don't have to, complain about anything about what money's coming in or not coming in, because they're getting the guarantee of some guy that's being sitting on the bench for, let's just say for 2 years, but he's getting paid like 1.2 or 3.2 million dollars. Like, that doesn't mean he's just only getting paid $3.2 million for 2 years sitting on the bench. On top of that, he could get sponsorships, he can get promotional deals, he could work with outside groups that want to invest in him, because when he starts playing and he starts getting more minutes on the court, then that's going to develop more of that investment line of a fighter, as a basketball player, that's what's going to make it more, competitive in that sense, to separate the good talent from the bad talent. And I understand in the NBA, that's a whole different sport from boxing, but it's like, in the sport of boxing, people need to start understanding the economics of boxing. They need to stop thinking that it's just only promoters and sanction bodies that can make the sport good, when it's clearly not. The promoters and sanction bodies are not the only people in town that could set up the industry of boxing. No. People need to get that off of their fucking heads, so they need to stop being ignorant, and they need to just go read a fucking economics book. If you read an economics book, you'll understand that promoters and sanction bodies are not needed at all. Alright, hold on. But basically, how I'm basically looking at it from, from the outside, looking in. I just think how the sport is really being run right now, there's a lot of behind the scenes action that nobody doesn't want to talk about. And there's too much blood on the table, where people are too scared to actually, speak up. And if they were to speak up, there's just bad backtrack of, certain things coming to them. And I think that's really the problem. I think that's the issue that people don't want to be honest about, because, regardless of what, the men or women go through in the sport, it's just that, it's obviously not a pure market. It's not a free market that actually has certain benefits for people to actually flourish in the sport compared to other sports, because obviously the state gets involved and they screw athletes in a certain way, where athletes do not have full control of their entire career. But back to this actual subject with Czarina and Monica, I think, based off of how the business of boxing is being structured, I think Czarina is on a good path, where she's just basically staying active. Because if she wasn't staying active and she was just only looking for the big fights, then I think that's why Czarina would never really do what she does now, where she's actually trying to be successful. in what she's trying to do. And I think Czarina is doing a very good job by just trying to keep herself anything to a certain level where she wants to put herself, in a certain position where she can be, at the top. But I think it's just only like a matter of time of like where things can be. But until then, we just have to see. Like, people may think I'm crazy. They may think like, now like you're just dick riding, blah blah blah. I'm not doing that. I'm just coming in to support my athlete, because if I was supporting basketball for, let's just say, the WNBA, and I said like, look, oh shit, like I said, like if I supported any other sport for women, like, I'll just use basketball. If I said Taurasi was like, one of the best female basketball players ever, nobody can mess with her, she's so good, blah blah blah, then I'll be honest about it. Like I actually like her a lot, and I think she's the absolute goods. So people don't get mad about that, because the WNBA is not as heavily successful as the NBA. But guess what? Some women actually put in that work to show their stripes being earned in the sport. So for boxing, it should be like treated like that, where it's all fun and games. People shouldn't get mad that you like this fighter over that fighter. It's like, dude, who the fuck cares? You're not getting in there to do their job. So to me, I think when it comes to Czarina's work ethic as a woman and what she does outside of the sport, I think she's doing a very, very good job. So much respect to Czarina, and I think this is a very good opponent. Don't let the record fool you. Monica Henao, she's only lost to 2 fighters by the hands of actually some pretty good fighters, actually. Former world champion Chantal Martinez, in which that was a very close fight. Some say that she actually could have won that fight. And she also lost to Jennifer Rodriguez. I think she was a former world title challenger, based out of Venezuela, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Jennifer, she's a good fighter. Definitely not been on the better track of her career, because she's been in such a up and down career. I think it's just mainly just due to her being put in there with some like some difficult level opposition, where she does good in some matches, and then other matches she doesn't really scale. She did come off with 2 back-to-back, or actually no, 3 back-to-back knockout losses. So she's definitely been on a very bad, massive track. But it's not to say like Jennifer Rodriguez is a bad fighter. She actually does have a good scaling in the sport, but it's just that either she's not really taking care of herself physically and mentally to look as better in the ring, because the damage does carry over, and I think it's better for especially women to definitely take a good amount of time off for them to feel better, leading into the future. But as far as everything goes with Monica and her resume, she has a pretty decent resume. It's not like it's like the absolute best, but I think based off of what I'm seeing, she is definitely looking to fight good opposition. Oh, yep, sorry. But yeah, I mean, either way, like, I think this is a very, very good fight. I don't know what her style would be, but it seems like she could be like one of those punchers, like a more of like a puncher brawler. She just throws like a bunch of wild punches, so it's not like she really shows anything difficult for Czarina's level. But I think Czarina, she's just gonna do the same thing that she does with any other fighter that actually does have skill, to try to hurt you. She's just going to take away, the bigger threats early game. And then I think heading into the late game, that will show, the level of, weakness that Monica holds. And, yeah, I think Czarina will do a very good job against this opponent. This is, a good opponent that's going to give you rounds and make sure that, like, basically make sure that you are basically red alert on everything that you do. I don't know what this will definitely do in the time being to get a win to hold the NBA title, but if I'm not mistaken, this fight is at 140. That's what I'm seeing on the promotional tag. But I don't know what Czarina's planning on doing. I think she said to me that she's going to have 2 more fights at bigger weights, this being the first out of 2. And then after the next fight, she's going to move back down in weight. But if she does do that, which I think she could very well do it, I think it's better to just cut down to probably bantamweight or super bantamweight. I don't think 115 or below makes any sense. And I'm only saying that because, she doesn't seem to really be, she doesn't seem to really have the body type to really try to make that weight. And I think she's way more bigger and more successful at those bigger weights, like 118 to like 126. I think that's like a better scaling. But you know what? We're gonna, have to wait and see. It's gonna be interesting to see how this matchup goes. Monica does have some decent power, but she hasn't really been facing like deadly opposition to really make herself known. So I'm not really sold on the 4 knockouts. Czarina, she obviously has, I think, like, 3 knockouts? Or 2? Wait, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So, yeah. Czarina has 3 knockouts out of her 11 fights. But, yeah, Czarina, she's been putting herself in there with some pretty somewhat stellar opposition. And yeah, she's had some really good fights against some really good decent ladies. But yeah, Czarina definitely looks like she's more borderline bantamweight, super bantamweight, or definitely featherweight. I think bantamweight and above would be a lot better. But from the looks of it, maybe if she is getting a lot bigger and stronger, I think the lightweight division could be interesting. But I think it's probably better to just start going down because she's only 21 years old. So that's also the more scary thing about it. Like, she's actually growing in size a lot faster. And she's actually, framing, a lot stronger. So that's something that Czarina definitely shows, that her athleticism is definitely kicking in more. And I think this is going to be a very fun fight. See, now, how I see this fight going down, obviously this is probably going to be like a 10-rounder. I think Czarina is just going to be more successful on the outside and mid-range. But I think on the inside, Monica might have a chance to try to hurt her. I don't really see it because Monica, she just throws a lot of punches and bunches. And, I'm not going to be rude about how she fights. Like, I just don't see anything that Monica does as a fighter that makes me think that she's going to go in there and just try to stop her. I think that's her only chance to really be successful in this fight. She's not too much of a boxer. She just has more of just like a come forward, walk you down type of style. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I think when it comes down to it, Czarina has a very good chin. She's been hit with some pretty, decent loaded shots in the past, but she's good enough to know that, like it's a boxing fight, you're gonna get hit, but she's done a very good job to like handle herself, so she's not doing anything wrong in her fights where she makes too many mistakes. The only thing that she'll probably have to just get better with is probably just of the conditioning and a little bit of footwork, but other than that, she's definitely B plus and borderline A minus on almost every single category. So I think she's doing a very, very good job to just keep herself in there with good, decent level opposition. But I think when the calls are going to be made to fight, the tougher opposition, um, I think that's what's going to show Zarina's, power and how much she's going to scale in the sport. And I think she's going to do, like a pretty good job. I think based off of like what I'm seeing, it's just that she just needs to keep getting better. And I think, wait, hold on. All right, back to what I was saying. I think at the end of the day, how this fight really shows in Zarina's skill set. I think this is gonna just show more heart and determination of what she can do as the competition definitely gets harder. Um, this is her 12th fight. She has way more experience than Monica, just by her being more active, and she shows more in a southpaw's, dexterity and durability and skill set to become a bigger threat. Um, I think how this will go down is just that if Monica's not able to land what she can land normally against her previous opponents, that um, she has quote unquote, defeated in good fashion. I think this will be the type of, fight where Zarina could be in some heavy loaded fireworks, but I think she'll get the job done. Obviously this is in Mexico, so I would definitely be a little bit careful with how people like set up and in their structure down there, but I think either way, if she's going to have good protection to make sure that, nothing shady happens in Monica's team or whoever, then I think it just makes all the sense in the world of like how I see Zarina doing what she has to do to be successful. So, either way, like, I mean, I will definitely, be looking forward to seeing how this fight goes down. I think Zarina will be the victor in this fight, but it's going to be very interesting to see how things will go. I do believe she's gonna win by decision. I think Monica's a very tough lady. Don't let the record fool you. She is a pretty good pressure fighter type of brawler. Her boxing skills are definitely not there. She's definitely one of those like women that got into the sport in a certain manner where she doesn't have a lot of experience behind her, but she could definitely make a fight when she sees the right opportunity to do the things that she wants to do. So I think either way, Zarina, she's going to definitely be in some firefights with her, but when she's able to manage herself and put Monica in a situation that she hasn't been in before, I think Zarina is definitely going to masterfully outbox her and take her to school. So yeah, like that's pretty much how I see it. Like I just don't see whatever could be the difference on this fight. But Serena has the faster feet. In my view, the hand speed definitely there. Head movement, definitely there. Defense definitely way better than Monica's. Monica just goes in there and she's definitely there to be hit. But I think with Zarina, she doesn't go there to be hit, to be knocked out or to be stopped. I think Czarina does a very good job, and developmentally, she's definitely getting better with her defense. She's not really going in there trying to go blow for blow, with you. So I think either way, she does a very good, great job with how she, prioritizes herself to be successful. So, yeah, much love and respect to Czarina. I hope she gets this victory, and hopefully, hopefully we could get to, win, number, uh, um, 11. So. Yeah, much respect to Czarina Mccoy. Wanted to give you guys the good news on this. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Salute to the mighty LDBC and TWT. I'm out. Sorry that I haven't been able to upload as much. But, yeah, man, I'm back. So, more videos coming out. And stay tuned, guys. Peace out. Bye.